Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this first Saturday in March the 2nd. And no, this is not a regular show. This is one of our all-star shows that Ron Wong has taken 3 Dramamines or something over there to calm down, because this is a special show.
It really is.
As we get ready for Red Crest and Major League Fishing, and Ron has put together, Ron, thank you, buddy, for this
you're very welcome.
Lineup of guests that we've got going on today's Outdoors with Larry Ray. And I know, Ron, we've got a special co-host on this event, so why don't you introduce?
We really do, and because this is the Red Crest Cup preview show,
yes,
we always have a communications person, corporate from MLF,
yes,
on. And I got to tell you, I am so excited that we have the senior manager of marketing and PR at Major League Fishing, Charity Mullenweg. How are you this morning, Charity?
I'm doing well, Ron. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Aren't you ready to listen to these guys and have fun and not have to worry about? I don't know how you do what you do, keeping up with all the tournaments and getting them on, and the job that you do, and this is just going to be fun, Charity, because I want to know the folks out there. This is the lineup that Ron has set up. And Charity has to work with these poor people all the time that's on today's show. Yeah.
But they're not really poor financially.
No, we're going to tell you that in just a minute. But we got Ott Defoe, we got Jacob Wheeler, we got Jeff Sprague. My mind's gone crazy on that. We've got Jeff, we got Andy Montgomery, we got Mark Rose. And let me tell you, folks, before we roll out all of these guys, I want you to know, Charity, I went in there. I spent some time on this show today, this special tow. I want you to know that these guys on today's show have 22 career wins. Listen to this. They have 245 top 10 finishes.
Wow.
They have been in Red Crest 18 times. They have won. Are you ready for this, Ron?
I'm ready.
$11,913,004.
Wow. That's impressive, Larry. You did your homework. I got to tell you.
5 guys.
I am really impressed.
Well, I got there and I looked and I said, oh, these guys have won $11 million.
And to think somebody's going to go home from the Red Crest Cup $300,000 richer. Is that not right, Charity?
Yep, that's correct. $300,000 top prize.
Hey, listen, you know, we've never had you on the show, and I've only been trying to get you on the show for about 2 years here now. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do with MLF.
Okay. Like you said, I'm the senior manager of marketing and PR, and this is my 5th year with Major League Fishing, so it's been an amazing 5 years. I started doing a lot of community events, and, in 2019, nobody knew the Bass Pro Tour, kind of knew what was going on, so we did a lot of stuff in market, and so I got to work with these guys and get to know them real well, real fast, just through events, and they did a bunch of fun things. I took them into elementary schools to read fish stories to elementary students and kids fishing clinics, and, just all kinds of fun stuff on and off the water, and so I'm really looking forward to it, looking forward to today. And you've got a lineup of a lot of great guys that just looking forward to seeing them fish again here in a few weeks. And hopefully they do well at the event. And
I bet they do.
Looking forward to it.
No doubt.
I think they will.
I bet they do. And how did you get into this? I mean, your background, I like to ask those things because you don't just all of a sudden knock on the door and they say, yeah, we'll take you. So talk about where you grew up and how this evolved to what you do.
Yeah. So I grew up in Chickasha, Oklahoma, which is just a little Oklahoma town. And I grew up super outdoorsy, so I fish and hike and camp and paddleboard and all the fun stuff. So I had been in marketing and PR for about 5 years at that point, had my own PR consultancy for a while, and worked in economic development, honestly, and
Yes.
a lot of community development. And so, but I really wanted to get, my dream was to be in the outdoors industry. And so I started looking around and saw this job pop up, and I was like, that is perfect, and that's what I want to do. And I just jumped in head first. Obviously applied and did all that, but I also sent my resume around the world. Turns out I think it landed on the desk of like the president of OSG or KSE or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they sent it back to Major League Fishing. Like, somehow we got this girl and she's really wanting to work for you. And so I say, kind of like anything else, I just jumped into it. And
Pretty amazing.
Well, I got to tell
Yeah.
you, you do an amazing job, Charity. All of the press releases that we get here at Outdoors with Larry Ray,
And the results.
and you're talking all the way down to the BLF level.
That's just a
And
lot.
those are tournaments throughout the U.S. The Toyota Invitationals, the Bass Pro Shop Tour, and holy cow, that's a lot of work. Charity, the Red Crest Cup, gosh, I'm so excited. It is really
talk
a
about
big
it.
deal. Talk about the Red Crest Cup. What's out there for the public?
okay. Yeah, it's going to be March 14th through the 17th in Birmingham, Alabama. The competition itself will take place on Lay Lake.
Yes.
So fans obviously could come out to that. We'll have, takeoff ceremonies each morning, starting at 6:15 each day of competition. The big thing that, outside of the competition itself is we have a big free family-friendly Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun for fishing fans and outdoor enthusiasts alike. So that's going to be at the Birmingham Jefferson Convention Complex in Birmingham, Alabama,
Great.
March 15th through the 17th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. And there will just be a ton of names, a ton of things. The biggest names in the outdoor industry will be there. We'll have the kids zone, giveaways, stage shows, pretty much anything and everything outdoors, fishing, hunting, camping is going to be at the show. So you definitely don't want to miss it. We're really excited about it.
How many anglers we got? 80, is that right? Or what do we got?
No.
We have
40?
We have
40.
50
40, I
This
mean.
is a champion.
Nope. 50. Actually, this will be 50 fish and red crest this year.
Okay.
50 this year.
50.
Okay.
Yeah.
50 this year, folks.
Yeah.
And part of
Yes,
the
sir.
expo, fishing is, yes, important to these guys, but also this is a trip of a lifetime for folks out there. I know a little of our Memphis folks are going to be driving, making that.
I know a lot
Yeah.
of Memphis folks are going to be down. I mean, it's a
Because it's at
3.5
Birmingham.
hour
Yeah.
easy drive down the interstate, and we encourage everybody to go out there. Charity, do you have any entertainment this year at the expo?
Well, obviously all of our pros, of course, they'll be the best
Right.
entertainment that we have there, but we're not having a concert or anything like that actually on site, but in conjunction with it that weekend, there will be Cody Johnson and I just went totally blank, Justin Moore. Cody Johnson and Justin Moore will be in concert
Yes.
on Saturday night. So we've got tickets that we've been running some giveaways. We've got some radio promotions there in Birmingham that'll be doing some ticket giveaways that week of Red Crest. So you guys be listening and looking out for those ticket giveaways as well if you're interested in Cody Johnson or Justin Moore.
And $300,000 is the top prize. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, Ron,
and I will say,
go ahead. What?
I was going to say, so the top 40 anglers from the Bass Pro Tour, which is what we've had before, but this year we've opened that up to 50 anglers, and the other 10 are coming. They're the top finishers from the Toyota Series, the Phoenix Bass Fishing
There
League,
you go.
and the Abu Garcia College Fishing Circuit. So,
That's
we've
cool.
got I can't remember how old he is, but Dylan Head is
He's
the college fishing
yeah.
pro that will
Yeah.
be fishing this event.
And that's
So it's an incredible opportunity for him.
and what makes it so unique is as we talk about it here is not just the money, but these guys are always available. It's a great event for the family, and it's an event that brings families from all over, and particularly in that great Birmingham setting on Lay Lake. And,
Absolutely.
And I know Ron will be there.
Yeah, I will be there.
Ron will be
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah, Charity, now, is there a cut for the final day?
Yes. So they are, let me go back to that real quick. All 50 anglers will fish both of the first 2 days.
Yep.
And then their cumulative weight will carry over, and the top 20 anglers will fish on day 3 on Saturday in the knockout round. And then from there, only the top 10 will advance to the 4th and final day. And again, the weights are zeroed. So basically it's going to be like a three tournament event.
Yeah.
You got to do well all 3 to take home that $300,000.
And I would assume, like it has been in the past, a lot of those anglers that don't make the cut, they'll be there at the expo to talk to anybody that comes around, all the public, right?
Yes, sir. Yep, they'll be at booths, and we've got like appearance schedules and things where people can kind of look and see who's going to be where and make sure they get to see their top guys.
Well, that's why it's so great, and I have to admit that I spent a lot of time at Tulsa, Charity, because I went to school at the University of Arkansas, and I think I was in Tulsa more than I was in Fayetteville. Okay, I mean, being that close and to see this event, folks. But it's going to be a fun show today. Ron is with Charity's help. As again I said, we're going to start right off after this break, our first break of the morning. Charity's going to hang in there with us and talk to my buddy Ott Defoe. You can't get anybody better than Ott. Just about, bless his heart, the poor old guy even sings in the choir. I know that for a fact. Maybe I'm not going to ask him to sing today, but I can't wait to hear him talk. So let's take our first break of the morning on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we will be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good morning to all you folks in Brownsville, Tennessee on 1520 AM and 95.3 FM. Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5. And, of course, right here in Memphis on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM on this special show that we do once a year when it comes Red Crest time, and Ron Wong is he's so fired up over there. I'm trying to he's got his seatbelt on this morning because this is a special show when we have a chance to interview the best of the best for Red Crest. In a couple of weeks, Ron will be there in Birmingham on Lay Lake as he reports, and we'll have all the pictures and everything.
We will have pictures at LarryRay.com.
Yes.
We'll have some videos because I have I went and got a new recording device.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Are you sure this next guy can know how to work it? I mean,
yeah, because I'm just going to put a microphone on him and he can do it. But I have to tell you, we've got the host of, one of the hosts of, Hunting for Monster Bass TV show.
Yeah.
A multiple winner in bass fishing tournaments, professional. And, our next guest, Ott Defoe, I mean, he is one of our good Tennessee guys.
Well, he lives in the other part of the state, and it's closer to Washington, D.C. than he is Memphis, but always
he's living in a good part of
We've been
Tennessee.
doing this show for almost 23 years, and Ott has been really good. And Ott, we appreciate you taking time to be with us on this Saturday morning that you've been many times on this show, one of our favorite people here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And first of all, and of course we have Charity on here. I mean, she's on the line too.
That's right.
Filling
Yes,
in.
sir.
Yes, filling in. And Ott, talk to us a little bit about this year's Red Crest. Talk about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank y'all for having me on the show again, Larry and Ron and Charity. Good to have you on here too, and you can keep me straight on all the details that I'll probably
No,
have.
that wouldn't be fun.
No. So talk about it.
But yeah, no, glad to be on here. I'm excited for it. Down there on Lay Lake on the Coosa River and going, being hosted there out of Birmingham. Really should be a great event. The first classic I ever attended as a kid was on Logan Martin, but it was hosted there out of Birmingham. So and then I fished a couple classics there that were on Gunnersville, but we're hosted out of Birmingham. So Birmingham's a great city to have an event like Red Crest. Should be a fantastic place for fans to come out and take part in all the festivities of it, and the fishing hopefully will be really good. Everything I've seen lately sounds like it lays fishing pretty strong. So I'm excited to get there.
And talking about the fishing, Ott, how does the Coosa River there, Lay Lake, set up for you?
Yeah, Ron, I had actually growing up, my family had a camper up on Lake Weiss, which is the very first lake in the Coosa River chain. So I spent a lot of time on Weiss, and spent some time on Neely Henry. I fished Logan once or twice, and fished one event there that part of it was on Lake Jordan down on the other end. I have never fished. I have never fished Lay. And I actually went down and spent a couple of days back in the fall even, and spent a couple of days riding around and never got a rod out. So I've been on it, but I've actually still never fished it. Just those Coosa River lakes for the most part, they fish fairly similar to our Tennessee River lakes, except just generally a little bit shallower.
Right.
And they don't have smallmouth, but they have spots.
Lots of spots, yeah.
So you've
and because of the time of the year and everything, I would think it plays a little bit to your strengths of cranking a shallow water.
Yeah. Good point.
Crankbait. One of your signature series crankbaits, right?
Yeah. I certainly hope so, and yes, I definitely think it should. It should be a shallow water power fishing, pre-spawn. Could even possibly be some fish spawning, I assume, but definitely should be a shallow water event. And that time of the year, that's of course the first few baits are all flat sided, and the deep tiny this year was flat sided. But that time of year, water a little bit warmer, something like the square bill Rocco's liable to definitely play pretty well. But a crankbait I would think should be fitting into the game plan there in some capacity, no doubt.
Talk about the setup on this, Ott, because I know, I know you've been very successful. We were talking earlier. You five guys on today's show have 22 wins among yourselves and 245 top tens. Talk about his charity has set us up for an event that man, it's got to be a lot of pressure because you're starting out with your 50, you're knocking it down to 20, you're knocking it down to 10. So talk about getting physically ready and mentally ready for a tournament that, man, it could boil down to that one catch or whatever it might be. So talk about that.
It absolutely could, and that's and Charity, make sure I've got this right. That all 50 will fish 2 days, and then like you said, the top 20 after 2 days. We'll move on into the knockout round. That makes it basically what a Bass Pro Tour event is. You just don't have the Group A and B, but then out of that 20, the weights on that 20 day, the weights will re-zero, and then the top 10 on that knockout day.
So how does that feel for pressure for you guys?
It is. It's a ton of pressure, and it's it's a lot of pressure those first couple of days to you got to be in the top 20 out of 30. So that's that's tough enough in its own suit. But once you've already whittled that down to 20, and then you've got a 1 day shootout to be in that top 10. Man, that's a day that it's really the pressure cooker, and you got to perform. And of course, with our every fish counts format, and it's a 2 pound minimum there at Lay. And,
wow,
2 pound minimum.
That's going to cut out a lot of them little spots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you're going to have to be targeting quality fish on that place to be able to score.
Right.
So and that's what you want for an event like a championship like Red Chris.
Because of the format of this tournament, Ott, how many pounds per day or a day that someone's got to catch to have a chance to win?
Yeah, that. Well, you got to survive. The first 2 rounds are all about surviving. So you look at that.
Yeah.
You got to be better than half that first day or first 2 days combined, and so if you look at tournament weights in there, of course it's on 5 fish limits. They catch a lot of 15-pound bags. So in my mind, they've certainly got 5 that were over 2 pounds. They probably ended up having 7 or 8. Maybe probably 8, at least 8, but maybe as many as 10 fish that were over 2 pounds to get to that. So, they had if they had 5 that weighed 15, they probably had 3 more that weighed another, 7 or 8 pounds.
Yeah.
So that puts you in the low 20s per day.
So he's figuring
And I would
it out
think
there.
that,
Yeah, you're figuring.
yeah,
You got numbers on your mind.
Yeah.
So I would think, and my guess would be just to survive that first cut, you're going to need, 40 plus pounds to
Wow.
survive that first cut.
That's heavy, yeah.
That's heavy
Yeah.
stuff,
And
and not.
Yeah.
Charity, you have anything to ask Ott?
She wants.
Say that again.
Do you have anything you want to ask
to
Ott or
ask
talk?
Ott. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, Ott. Thought Ron, I didn't have a question ready for him.
Well, I can answer any question you don't have. 'Cause I got a question for
Yeah.
Ott. I got a question.
Okay.
Because I know we've had Ott on this show many times. We've been on the air 23 years, and I can remember talking to Ott and talking about he and his dad, right, Ott? Fished
Yeah.
together, got you started. Didn't win nothing for a long time there.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you look at what's happened now and the evolution, and I don't mean that in anything, but the sport, you know what I'm talking about.
The way the sport has changed.
Yeah. You still singing in the choir? I know I am. Okay, Ott? Okay. All right, we're not going to do a duet right here. But this coming to the Red Crest and think where you started. What does that mean to you? The success you've had.
I mean, those championships at Red Crest being charities. This is the fifth. That's the fifth. Yeah, that's the fifth one.
Yes, that's right.
It starts to run together after a little bit.
Yeah.
But this being the fifth one, and I was blessed to make 8 classics all in a row, and 4 Forestwood Cups all before that. So I'm thankful to look at my career, and I've made the championship every time I've had an opportunity to. And you realize as that streak keeps going of just how special that is, honestly. And that's kind of what I look at coming into this Red Crest. Of just man, I'm not a young newbie out here anymore.
It's a long way since Ott Defoe back in when you were 9. I think I remember.
Yeah. So it's so those championships I do only come around once a year, and thankful for the streak that I've had going, but you do only get one shot at it a year, so
that's right.
I want to try to make the most of it.
Ott, you can't do this by yourself. You have some wonderful sponsors, your family, and other supporters. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Ron, I was looking at it when we design our wraps and jerseys and that stuff, and this year, and it's interesting to look at how many of the companies that I am working with still that I've been with for 10 years.
10 years.
I mean, at
wow,
least
that's a long time.
How many of them that I've been working with that long, and and I'm just thankful for their dedication to the sport and myself personally.
Who are some of those companies that you've been with for 10 years?
Yeah, Bass Pro, of course, Onyx, Onyx Outdoors, Rapala I've been with for just over 10 years at this point. Those are some of the ones that come to mind. It's been great, and like you said, of course, Jenny, she runs the whole house and keeps me keeps me where I'm supposed to be, and everybody else too, and the kids all putting up with it all.
Well, I know that you're a man of faith, Ott, and I know a lot of our listeners out there know you from that, and you're not ashamed of that, and you always your Facebook pages are always interesting. I never know what you might be doing or what the kids might be doing and things along that line, and that's what this is all about. And Charity, these guys that we got coming rolling out, not just Ott today, but to represent your sport. That's important, isn't it, Ott?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And that's I'm a Christian and been a believer a long time, and that's something that I want people to know me for and know about me more than anything. And anytime I get the opportunity to share my faith with somebody, if it's on it's on a one-on-one conversation or in fishing church or
Fishing
anywhere
church.
we get
I
a
love
chance
it.
to. So
I can watch that before I go to church on Sunday mornings. Well, Ott,
right.
thank you, man, for being with us. Again, always great to have you. I don't believe in luck, buddy. Somebody's going to win that thing.
That's right.
Your name may
That's
be
right.
up there, but if it's not, we're going to get you back on the radio soon. Okay, buddy?
And we wish
I
you
appreciate y'all having me.
wish you tight lines, my friend.
Yeah, take care of Ron when he comes down here, okay?
I'll try to.
Thank you, man. Let's take a break on outdoors. We'll take a break on
thanks,
outdoors, Larry, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors on Larry Ray here on AM 790 in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And this is a special show. We brought in the man himself, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, everybody. And I got to tell you, Larry, just to be able to get these professional
The best
bass
of the
fishermen,
best.
the best of the best,
Yeah.
here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Always a lot of fun. And then also to be able to have, for the first time ever,
On Outdoors.
Outdoors with Larry Ray,
Been trying.
the one and only
Oh.
Charity Mullenweg.
Hey, Charity. All right.
Yes, hi guys.
Are you ready for this next guest, Charity? I mean,
I'm ready.
yeah.
I'm ready.
you
Not
know,
sure if
Jacob
you
keeps
know
us-
him or not,
Jacob
but
keeps us. Yeah, he keeps us a little busy. We gotta be update.
Yeah.
We gotta be updating that profile constantly. So
Well,
we're
that's the thing about it. And as we said when we started this show, that we got 5 guys on here together have won over $11 million in bass fishing. We got a couple of guys that won over $3 million. And we got an Indiana guy that moved to Tennessee where he should have been to begin with.
that's right.
On this show right now, on this segment, Jacob Wheeler. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody over there?
Oh, we can't wait to talk to you, buddy, because we done talked to Ott. Ott's done made his
And
prediction.
first of all,
Yes, what?
congratulations
Yes,
on your win
Yes.
there at,
Thank you, Ron.
gosh, it slipped my mind.
Well, that's what charity's here for, right? So,
Oh gosh.
Huh?
Was it Sam Rayburn?
come on.
Candy Cooper.
Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up.
Santee Cooper.
He's already
Remember,
said it.
There you
Cooper.
go.
Thank
You
you.
don't-
Santee Cooper.
You don't
And
think Jacob doesn't know
congratulations
that?
there,
Yeah,
Jacob.
buddy.
Thank
Congratulations.
you so
on that.
much. It was a good week, that's for sure.
Well, talk about coming up here, and Ron's going to ask you some real tough questions, and Charity's going to correct me when I say something. But let's talk about Red Crest, Jacob, and what you're looking forward to. And I know you've been there before. What is this, 4th or 5th trip? I can't remember. One of the two. You've been at Red Crest. Talk about 6-day event where you're knocking off. You got 50 guys. You got coming down to 20. You're coming down to 10, and you're at Lay Lake. So, Ron, I know you're anxious to asking this, but I got to ask you, how do you prepare for something like this?
It's just it's a tough one to prepare for. Obviously it's
Yes.
a championship. It's a championship event, and there's a lot of things that go on during that. You have a lot of you have a little bit different of a mental space that you go in when you go to compete at Red Crest, because you've already qualified. You worked your butt off all year to make it to the championship.
Yeah.
And you fish to win. Now in our deal in this scenario, when fishing to win, you got to get there that championship day on Sunday to win that trophy. So the goal is just to get to Sunday and try to formulate a game plan throughout the week of how you think things are going to ultimately to win the event. And you really don't know until, sort of like what happened to Santee Cooper. I feel like the guy who wins Red Crest will formulate a game plan within the tournament, and will figure out a pattern. And it's the most current pattern that's going on, because he's not basing it off of a week-long old practice that was, the fish are doing completely something different in 1 week, especially in the spring.
Yeah.
I think that's what's probably going to happen. The guy's not going to know he's going to win, but he's going to formulate a game plan and get it dialed in the tournament.
Right. Well, hey, I got to ask you something, Jacob. Will the Crush City Freeloader be a player in this game?
I think, it'll be interesting. I think it will be for sure.
Yeah.
And it might just be on the back of a chatterbait. I think you're going to see at Lay Lake more of an old school type of
I like
tournament.
Yeah.
I think you got some warm water, warm weather coming. You got a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Do I think they're going to catch them out there on some of that stuff? Yes, they will. But it won't be directly, a jerk bait and a freeloader and stuff like that will play. But I think it's going to be pretty diverse, and I think guys are going to catch them in the current. I think guys are going to catch them at the dam. I think guys are going to catch them in the grass for largemouth. There'll be some fish that are trying to pull up the spawn.
Yeah.
So I think you got a lot of diversity on that body of water. It's going to be a spots versus largemouth sort of battle. And if we get some really good weather, you might see those largemouth, be victorious.
Oh,
yeah.
You hear that, Ron? And this is
Yeah, and he said something that I never even thought about, using the freeloader on a bladed jig.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even a spinnerbait.
Yeah, I've caught them definitely. Yep, for sure.
And I look back at this, and I know you've been on the show before. We've been on the air 20-something years, and I look back to 2012 when you were the youngest person to ever win the Forest Wood Cup at 21.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So talk about the evolution of this sport, Jacob. You've seen it and come to this event like this that could be 6 days. It could be 2-3 days and you're gone. So talk about the preparation and what you've seen over these years, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the evolution of the sport, I mean, there's a lot of things that definitely have changed along the way, and obviously fishing has changed, techniques have changed.
Yeah.
But the one thing that doesn't change is the work ethic of some of the anglers out there.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for everything in life. I think you look at the guys towards the top, and you look at some of the guys like my roommate Dustin Connell. You look at some of the guys like Alton Jones Jr., Ott Defoe, and you might see them out there casting around the tournament and on MLF Live, MLF Now. But a lot of times, what really happens is you don't get to see them during their time off and what they're preparing and prepping for the tournament.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes into that, that preparation side of it. So, I think there's a lot of things that definitely are changing, and I think that you're seeing the face of bass fishing get younger and younger with technology and additions to technology. But I do think there's always room. I feel like even right now, like, hey, I feel like I'm almost a veteran.
That's
I wouldn't.
right.
Well, you are a
but,
veteran.
But I do. I'm like, heck,
You're in your prime, man.
But Jacob, talking about change also.
Yeah.
Think back the days when you first started fishing professionally in that boat that you had then, and now the new Icon boats.
Yeah. There you go.
Big changes in boats, and also, right?
Oh, absolutely. Big changes in boats and the technology and how they ride, and there's a lot of that as well. I mean, look at us going from AGM batteries to Miller Tech lithium. Look at the power poles, and look at Spot Lock, and look at. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Of how much more efficient we are on the water. I remember killing my batteries at the Forest Wood Cup on Washita, and I would swap out AGMs every single night. Like I'm picking up these giant, die-hard AGMs that weigh about 100 pounds apiece.
That's right.
Swapping them out every night. Now I have two lithiums. I got a powerful charge. It charges it while I'm running.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about those things. So there's definitely some crazy things that that have changed this sport, and of course the Icon and working with Icon it's been a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah, and Jacob, you can't do this without a wonderful family and sponsors and fans that support you. Talk a little bit about your sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you straight up. Even my number one sponsor is my wife.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Alicia,
that's
right?
First and foremost.
Yeah, Alicia. Okay.
And it was pretty interesting. Okay, this is the facts behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
This sport is super mental.
It is.
It challenges you in every way. At the end of the tournament week, I give everything that I have to that tournament that given week. And so I told someone this the other day. I said, my wife, she won't even, Alicia, she won't even call me with, issues that are happening around the house because she knows like my mindset during tournament weeks
Right.
to focus on the tournament.
Yeah.
Hey, focus on the tournament. Your time and your energy needs to focus here.
Yeah.
And so that's just so hard. I mean, when you have that's so hard to beat. You know, you have a team like that, and she's she's taking care of everything at the house, and I don't have to worry about all of those things and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And she's making sure everything's taken care of on the home front. So that's huge. Of course, sponsors are huge, and everybody knows, that I've been with Academy for a lot of years. In Rapala and the Crush City line of things. I mean, I've been beyond blessed, beyond belief with the companies that I've worked with in this industry, and I definitely I'm humbled to be able to represent those companies and how big iconic those companies truly are. So I mean you guys know all that, but the fans are the really important part of this.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
something that we have to do as tournament anglers is sometimes we have to realize, we were fans of the sport at one point in time. We were just, we were on the outside looking in. Like I remember a 16-year-old Jacob Wheeler looking up to Joe Thomas and Barry Martins and Kevin Van Dam and watching TV.
Yeah.
And just meeting them for the first time. So one thing, whenever I get the opportunity, and there's people that travel all over to come to an MLS meetup and an MLS activation, you got to take the time for those individuals because I was the same. I was that kid. When you see a 16-year-old kid that has that passion, you got to take the time for that. And I appreciate it because that's something that if I can't take the time there, like I look back at myself. I'm like when I was 16, if I would have snubbed my sometimes we have bad days on the water and sometimes we have a tough time and all you want to do is go home.
Yeah, that's right.
But those people and the fans that make this sport is what make the best thing about it. Truly, I couldn't. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Charity would agree with that, right, Charity?
Yes, and I was going to say Jacob is definitely one that I can say is confidently always. The last of the lake, I think at the last event we were at, you had a reporter that you had to sit around and wait on, and you're just always right there on top of it, and that's just super important, as you guys know, for the media and fans.
Well, you have to be able to be. Your fans are what make you. I know that. I mean, you have great equipment now compared to what me and Ron grew up with. Back in the Stone Age, and the dinosaurs are rolling around. Yeah. But you have those things. We got a couple of minutes here, so are you mentally ready? Do you get in some kind of in these last 2 minutes, Jacob? Is your mind ready? Are you in that mindset right now that, hey, let's don't talk about age, injuries, or anything like that? Are you ready physically for this challenge?
I am. I really, I think a lot of this sport is about momentum.
It is.
And when you get on that, it's like any other sport. When you feel and you're feeling like you're making good decisions and your confidence levels are high.
Yeah.
You're really hard to beat because you're not ever second guessing yourself. And there's times in this sport when you're not making good decisions and you second guess every move that you make. So that's something that's important to me right now. I'm fishing really well. I'm very confident, but I'm looking forward to the challenge. I think my boy DC is probably the local favorite. Dustin Connell. But and I'm looking forward to poking fun at him and having fun. There's a lot of great anglers.
Well,
if I had to pick a dark horse, I would probably pick Jesse Wiggins.
Oh, you really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're the first person that ever picked a dark horse before. I think we'll just pick a bright horse. We'll go with you. Okay? All right? Is that all right? Well, Jacob, we appreciate you, buddy. We got to let you go and get on back.
And I'll see you there
Ron Wong will be
in Birmingham and Lay Lake.
All right.
Awesome. Really appreciate you all. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Jacob. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back. This special presentation of Outdoors with Larry Ray is we roll toward our 24th year on the air, which just means me and Ron Wong have been around a while.
Yes, we have.
And Ron is fired up on this show as we do every year about this time. It just hits on the first Saturday in March, and you folks in Brownsville, Jackson, Memphis, all over the Mid-South. This is your show today. If you love bass fishing, professional bass fishing, we got 5 of the best on with us this morning, and we're really happy to have this next guest. Why don't you introduce this next guest and reintroduce our co-host from Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well,
all right?
yeah, first of all, our special co-host this morning on Outdoors with Larry Ray, Charity Mullenweg. Good morning again, Charity.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having me.
Aren't we having fun, Charity? I mean,
We are. We're having a blast.
we call this the fastest 90 minutes
And I gotta
outdoor
tell you,
radio program.
yeah.
And this is
Our
fun.
next guest,
Yeah.
what sticks out in my mind about him
What?
is how he can always catch big bass. He's probably won more big bass
He's big bass
awards than anybody else around. From the what town is that, Larry? Will Point.
man. Huh? Will Point? Yes.
Will Point, Texas.
Yeah.
Jeff Sprague. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Ron. How are you guys?
Hey,
Doing good.
We're doing good, and thank you for being a part of this show. Coming in right off Jacob Wheeler and Ott Defoe, we're talking Red Crest on Outdoors with Larry Ray today, and I'll kind of kick this off as Charity listens in and ask each one of you guys about this event itself, because it's rather unique. You got 50 of the top anglers, including the whippersnappers, from college in there.
Yeah,
And
right.
and you're all working for being that top 10, cut down to 20, then down to 10. Talk about it, Jeff, about this, being able to spread this thing out, and it all keys to making it there to Sunday, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody, it's not just making it to Sunday, it's making it to the Super Bowl bass fishing, which is the Red Crest.
That's it,
The best in the best in the business, the biggest names in bass fishing are all, gunning to get to the Red Crest, and to be able to, be a part of it and fish against the greatest competition in the world is what we all strive for. So, to make it again this year is a tremendous feather in your hat, and that's where we fish for the biggest money in the payday in sports and bass fishing as well. Grand prize of $300,000, and that's what we fish for, and we're super excited to be a part of it again this year. Looking forward to going to Lay Lake and that Alabama area that's known to produce big spots and big largemouth. So we've got some good stuff ahead of us.
Talk about it, Ron. He's going to Lay Lake. He can't wait.
Right, and talk about Lay Lake.
Yeah.
A lot of those fish, as you know, Jeff, lots of spots there, spotted bass, and there's some quality largemouth. How are you going to approach this tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to break the lake down and figure out whether the largemouth are going to play or is it going to be a spotted bass event exclusively. With the forward-facing sonar and the advancement in our guys and being able to read the sonars and be able to catch these fish that are isolated, one has to take that into consideration. So far this year in 24, everything has been dominated pretty much on forward-facing sonar.
Yes.
And even though we're coming into a spawn event, I do feel like we're still going to have to keep that honest. So I'm going to have to go out and evaluate that, as well as try to figure out how far along these bass may be in the spawning stages when we get to the Red Crest.
And everything is kind of determined by the weather here, too. I mean, we're supposed to have some warming weather coming, and who knows, after a week, does it go into a big cold front again? A lot of that has to do with how those fish are going to move. And in a tournament like this, Jeff, do you have to kind of review what has happened in the evenings after you fished a day to determine what you're going to have to do the next day?
Well, a lot of this type of weather right now in the spring is one night can change a lot of things.
Sure can.
Change almost everything. If we have a couple of consecutive warm nights and the moon is right, those fish that were just off the bank and that were out there and that were live scopeable or forward facing sonar, they will move and they will be gone. They'll go to the bank, they'll go to docks, or they'll go to a staging area, or they'll go straight to the bank. So the weather is going to be key in this event for a guy that's going to fish shallow or versus a guy who's going to fish offshore, whether forward facing sonar or just on staging bass. So a lot of things are going to come into that, and that's one thing about, our anglers and about the anglers that do what we do is you've got to be able to read the fish, you've got to be able to read the weather, and then what's coming with the weather and how that's going to affect them. So because you could have fish going away from you or you could have fish coming to you, and you always want to be on the, hey, they're coming to me side of it. It pays a lot better.
Yeah, right. Hey, Jeff.
You guys get.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lauren. I was going to say, you guys get a few days, you get 3 days of practice before the event, but when's the last time that you fished on Lay Lake, and how do you feel kind of going into practice on that Sunday?
So I'm going to be that guy right now, guys, and you're going to hear me, just hear me out. I've never fished Lay Lake, never been on Lay Lake. I've driven over it, but I've never seen it. I've never been on it. So I'm excited, and I feel like no experience is almost as big advantage as having been there multiple times, because I don't have the history that a lot of guys are going to have, that they think, hey, I need to run to this end of the lake, or I need to run to that river, or I need to run to this arm or this. I'm going to be able to approach it with a clear mind and truly see what the fish tell me.
Yeah,
the same thing, I do that a lot at a lot of these lakes. And so it's just where I came from with FLW, we were pigeonholed into certain lakes at certain times of the year.
Right.
It seemed like, and bass were the guys that came from bass were able to travel around a little bit. So it truly does not scare me at all. It actually gives me, I find new water interesting, and it keeps my mind working. But the way my mind is, guys, when I lay down at night, it doesn't stop. All I can think about is what I need to do the next day, or how I can break it down and make it better. So that helps me, versus where if I have to come to Lake Fork, I have so much history there that it scares me, because I'm thinking this little niche spot, this little hidey hole, this little point.
Right.
Things are, I don't know any better, so when I go to Lay Lake, I truly have a blank canvas and I get to paint my own picture.
Hey, we're talking
That
to
is good.
Jeff Sprague here on our Red Crest special show, and I know we just got him off a tractor. He's getting his tractor out of stuck, and
He's trying to get his planning done before the Red Crest Cup.
Before all the Red Crest, he's got more important things to think. But let's look back at this, Jeff. Highly successful, man. I don't know. You're right at the $1 Million Club. Talk about the career and the evolution of the sports that you've been involved in.
Well, the evolution of the sport has been tremendous in the past 36 months. Things have changed tremendously. Obviously, everyone is being inundated with forward-facing sonars and multiple graphs. Back when it went from one graph to 2 graphs, we thought that was a big now. Now we have guys with 5, 6 units on their boats.
5 or 6 units. That blows my mind.
And they have transducers pointing in every direction, guys. And I actually have some guys that are staying at my house right now that are here at Lake Fork fishing with bass, and they've got more transducers on their boats than I have on 2 or 3 of my boats combined.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Von Wong?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
no, and you know what?
What?
It's funny to say.
Yeah.
But the bass fishermen today, the professionals and even the everyday bass fishermen, they are still about 2 years behind the crappie fishermen in terms of electronics.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it's catching up. I mean,
this guy lives on Lake Fork. I mean,
and Jeff, you can't do this all by yourself. You got to have support of your family,
and he's got
your sponsors.
Yes.
And you've just picked up a new sponsor that I was so happy to see, Lake Fork Tackle, right?
Correct. Yes. Lake Fork has been around for, my entire life. It was Lake Fork Tackle was the very first company that gave me a free bag of worms.
Really?
And I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Yes. True story. And I'll never forget it. My heart always lies close to them. And when the opportunity arose, it was purchased by a couple of investors that are linked closely to Bass Pro Shops. That's a family deal there. And they reached out, and they were interested in some design work and some rods and some things that they knew the background of my. And so it's a huge thing that's coming. Lake Fork will release a lot of new things at ICAST this year.
Wow. There you go, Ron.
That's cool.
We are looking to launch a lot of, and so we have worked tremendously hard And Lake Fork will be. I'm excited to be a part of where they're going, where the history came from, and I'm excited to be launching the baits that we have. They're brand new, they're redesigned, and there's actually some that are brand new that we've had under our hat for a while that we were going to do with another company, but ultimately I held on to them, and so now to be able to get them turned loose onto the market with Lake Fork will be a tremendous deal. We can't wait for guys to get their hands on it.
We got a couple of minutes here, and I know you couldn't do it without your family. Your
little boy is growing up fast.
Whalen Cove and River.
And he loves to bass fish.
Yes. I've heard all about this now. Is this true? How old is he?
So Whalen has just turned 8, and I push golf clubs on him. I push a baseball bat on him. I push anything on him but a fishing pole. And I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, it's just in his blood, and unfortunately, that's all he wants to do. So
bless his heart.
I'm gonna support him. But yes, I couldn't do it without my family. I got married this last year.
Yes, you did.
In Cabo, and so we have our children. And so without my support of my family and my sponsors, NGK Spark Plugs, if you guys don't know it, every boat that comes off the assembly line, no matter what boat motor you have, has an NGK Spark Plug in it. If you don't know it, better learn it, because that's what helps you get better fuel economy, more horsepower, and your engine burn cleaner. They also make all the sensors NTK for your boat motors, trucks, cars.
Wow.
The Parts Authority, also a huge partner of mine. Yes. And so lots of little things. Couldn't do it without Basscat, PowerPole, Lowrance, and their forward-facing sonars. Listen,
you the man, Jeff. Yeah. I mean, you can roll them off here, and I tell you right now, I was going to pick somebody else, but you're going to be my dark horse, okay? I mean,
he's never been on the lake.
I've never been on the lake. I'm going to remember this.
He won't be fishing now, nostalgia.
No, I can't wait to talk to you after you won, and you're going to split out that $300,000 to some of your friends, okay? Yeah.
Larry,
we win. I'm coming down there, y'all. We're going crappie fishing.
All right, Jeff. Thank you, man, for being on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and
I'll see you in
Ron
Birmingham.
will be there, and Charity will take care of all of you guys. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on AM 790, 92.9 HD right here in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And good morning to you good folks in Brownsville and Jackson as you listen in also as we spotlight Red Crest coming up in 2 weeks on Lay Lake and based out of Birmingham, and Outdoors of Larry Ray's own Ron Wong will be there. He'll probably be on his 3rd pair of tennis shoes by the time the thing's over because he moves around. Don't let his age fool you. When it comes to tournament time, Ron is there. And, Ron, you've got another special guest on this special show. Remind our folks who's also with us on this Saturday morning.
Well, this Saturday morning, our special co-host this morning is Charity Mullenweg, Senior Manager of Marketing and PR at Major League Fishing. And Charity, great to have you on this on this special show. Red Crest Cup, what does that mean to you?
What does a Red Crest Cup mean to you, Charity?
It means a lot. I'm glad that I don't have the stress that these guys have as far as going out and competing in it, but we have our own, piles of stress on the other side of it going into the event. So we're really excited about it, looking forward to it. And I can attest that I spend half of my week trying to keep up with Ron. So
try to keep up with Ron.
Sure.
Ron's unkeepable. Yep. Yeah, just toss him back,
Right.
It's catch and relief with Ron. Okay, but
our next guest.
Talk about it.
Well, first of all, he helped provide all of the specifications for a very special reel that has now become my favorite casting reel. It is a Lew's SP casting reel.
Yes.
It is for skipping and pitching and for everything.
I can skip.
And he's won lots of money, just like all of our guests have. Andy Montgomery. Good morning, Andy.
Hey, Ron, that's a pretty good intro with the skipping reel. I like that.
He liked that, didn't you, Andy? I thought he would.
Well,
he
when we're talking to who I think is the very best at skipping a bait,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, that's why he is what he is, and it's Andy Montgomery, and we're talking Redcrest on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And I know, Andy, you've been there, so talk about this. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's 50 of the top anglers. You whittle it down to 20, and then you get down to 10. Talk about your approach to Lay Lake.
I guess the big elephant in the room is live scope now in the fishing world. So,
yes, yeah.
That really changes your thought process and just adds another factor to it that, I'm not the best at live scoping, but it definitely adds another factor to it. Redcrest always situates around the pre-spawn/spawn, mostly pre-spawn. So that is one time a year I think you can compete around the bank, especially at a 2-pound minimum on Lay Lake. So,
yes, yeah.
I'm for sure looking forward to it. This is my 5th Redcrest, I think. I've never missed one. Something I'm really, really proud of, and got close at Grand Lake to winning, and
that's right.
That just makes you want to win it more.
It does, and the atmosphere that happens at this event is unlike any other tournament that you fish, Andy. Right? I mean, the competition is so keen, and then the fans are there. If you can't get pumped up over this, well, you're unpumpable.
Well, that's true.
If that's a word,
good, but if we get down to the gist of it, that $300,000. I enjoy everything you said, competing against the 50 best in the world or 50 other best in the world, but it all boils down to that 300.
Well, I got to ask.
That's right.
How many Hereford cattle can you buy with $300,000, Andy? Okay, I mean, huh?
There'd be some production sales pretty happy to see I'll tell you that. I'm running out of grass, though. That's my biggest thing.
You're running out of grass? Come on.
Yeah.
A lot of you folks don't realize that, but I've known that and read about it, and Andy's loved it. From
he's another farmer that we
South Carolina, Blacksburg, South Carolina, and we just got off the tractor. Well, Jeff Sprague just got off the tractor talking to us. I hope you're not on the tractor right now, Andy.
Well, I was actually on the skid steer. So.
Oh, he was on the skid steer. And that's folks. That's what makes this show so good. With this special show, you guys are down to earth. And good folks, and the fans mean so much to y'all, right, Andy? I mean, for this event.
Yeah, absolutely. This is in Major League Fishing style. This is probably the biggest fan showcase that we have all year. So the expo's great. The fans are going to be there great, and it's pretty good to come. I made it all the way till not the last day, the day before last year, and then. Grand Lake fished every day, so coming back and seeing all the fans there and knowing they was there watching it on the Jumbotron is pretty cool.
Yeah, and how does do you have any experience on Lay Lake? What do you think about Lay Lake, and how does it fit your style?
Yeah, I got zero experience.
Another zero experience.
Yeah.
So never been on the lake in my life, but I have fished around in Alabama, so the same type of spotted bass and it's pre-spawn. I'm sure it's got some shallow bank grass. I'm sure it's got some docks. It should set up well, which is it sets up well for all these guys nowadays.
It does, doesn't it?
Now I understand there are a lot of boat docks, boat houses there.
Wasn't the classic there? I don't want to jump in on a subject that's not really, but it's big events have been there. But Jeff Sprague just said he had never been there before. This is kind of unusual. How do you prepare for that then?
Two farmers.
Yeah. How do you prepare for that, Andy?
Well, we actually like going places that we don't have any preconceived notions. So you just kind of get there. It's not a lake you really got to study Google Earth, or for me. I don't have to study Google Earth a lot. It's one of them lakes I can just show up and
that's great
and go fishing. So I think Kevin did win the Classic there, but that's been years ago.
I was there.
Oh, and that's right.
I was there.
And he will be there.
Yeah, he will be there. But But I do remember that the setup.
Beeswax Creek is going to be full.
Yeah, well, tell Andy that because he had never been there before. I hope you got a room someplace there. Just don't show up with your cattle, okay, buddy?
There you go. Yeah.
But we'll talk about the mental aspect of this. How do you prepare mentally for this?
So it's actually a little bit easier. You think it'd be the opposite with the biggest tournament of the year, but there's no points involved. So
that's right. Yeah.
You can really focus on trying to win. I mean, that's really all you got to focus on. That's it. Versus a regular season event, sometimes you may know that you're on a 20th place finish at best, but you still got to go try to do that.
Well, I think consistency's been one of your favorite things there. So go ahead. What were you going to say there?
I said, sometimes you're on we got somebody in the background y'all hear him chiming in there and one of my cows. But anyway.
I heard the cow. We've never had a cow on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
We have now.
It is a Hereford, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
He's looking for grass.
So I was just saying that you can chase the win. It's all about winning, so there's less stress involved, to be honest with you. Unless you get close to winning now. I mean, I was feeling it a couple of years at Grand Lake. Couple years ago at Grand Lake for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just all about winning. And if you do tank, big deal. It's
I like that attitude. And again, we're talking to Andy Montgomery out of Blacksburg, South Carolina. Charity, you got a question there? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Andy, you're a 4-time Classic qualifier, and like you said, this is your 5th time to qualify for the Red Crest. So how does it feel, just going into another big championship event like that, and what's your mindset for
5 times? Yeah, you know what to do. You know what it's about, buddy.
Yeah, I had a bad start to this year, but I think there was only like 9 guys that ever fished every one of them. I believe Marty Stone was saying that last year.
Okay,
so it was something I was pretty proud of. But yeah, and then I fished 5 FLW Cup.
Yes, you have.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're talking about 14 big time championships in my career, and
4-time classics, if I think right, something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. I hate to say it's just another tournament, but
you got to have that. That sounds like you. I mean, you got to keep.
It kind of is. It's just another tournament.
But it's 300,000, Andy. Did you know that, Andy? I didn't know if you knew that or not. But
I think he said something about that earlier.
He's going for $30. Come on, Andy. There are more zeros in there, buddy.
No. I'm not saying that because the 300 G's does weigh on your mind. But,
yeah, it would have to weigh.
I guess a better way to put it, the butterflies from the first ever Forest Wood Cup I fished, or the first ever Classic, or the first ever Red Crest.
Yeah.
They're probably not as strong. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And you can't do this without the support of a wonderful family and great sponsors. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have not a great big sponsor base. Basically work with 3 or 4 companies: Rather Outdoors, Losing Strike King, and then Bass Pro, which incorporates a lot.
And some good ones. Yeah.
And then General Tire's a big one. I'm sure they's a big part of Red Crest. Been a blessing to the fishing industry, General Tire has.
And
so,
they really have.
Yeah. I know.
Anytime we get a non-endemic in the fishing space, it's a big deal. And looking forward to representing all of them as I do every day.
Are you still with the Fishers?
When you're out here with the cows, you're still representing.
Are you still with the Fishers of Men National Tournament Trail?
And the Fishers of Men National Tournament Trail, yes, sir.
Good deal.
Great deal.
Yep. So still running that wrap, and all good.
Well, buddy, we appreciate you taking time. All right, you got a quick question?
I have a burning question. Yeah, I do. You posted a video on your socials about cooking during the Santee Cooper event. And I'm just wondering if you got in trouble when you got home for that one.
No, I did not get in trouble. I don't know that Edwin and Ott didn't get in trouble, but I did not get in trouble.
You didn't get in trouble. Okay, well, that settles that question as we close out the segment. We've heard the cow moo, and now we know about his cooking. What more do we need from Andy than
that's great.
All right, we got to have to take a break. Andy, thank you, buddy.
We'll see you there in Birmingham and Lay Lake, buddy. All the best.
Thank you, guys.
Ron will be there, Andy. Thank you, buddy. Look forward to talking to you again, okay, man?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You.
Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this Saturday morning, March the 2nd. And we would normally be first Saturday, and we throw Dave Gabbert and Gene Smith in, but they're going
But
next
this is
week's
leap
show.
year.
They're on next week. And yeah, this is leap year. Hold on, Ron. You're so excited. You know, it's the fastest 90 minutes in the outdoor radio program. Ron has not been able to get up out of his chair. He's hanging on over there. I'm not going to say we saved the best for last, but I was there when he started. I feel like I've been part of the aluminum boat career of this next guest, and thank the world of him. He's got his priorities right, and Charity, we appreciate you setting up all these guests we've had, and we're leaving the farm, really. We're going to Wynne, Arkansas to talk to our good friend Mark Rose on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We are doing great, and we're talking Redcrest. And I'm looking at all these figures. Have you been in all 5 Redcrest?
I have.
And
wow,
that's pretty.
That's very impressive.
That's impressive, and so you know what this thing means. And Charity's listening in, Ron's listening in, and I'm of course I'm proud of your accomplishments. But talk about this Redcrest in a couple of weeks on Lay Lake, based out of Birmingham, and talk about how you prepare for this mentally and physically. And then I'll turn it over to Ron to ask you all about the baits and everything you use. So. Talk about it.
Well, I'm really looking forward to Lay Lake. It's one of the lakes that I have never been on. You know, I've been doing this 24 years.
No.
You are the third guest on this show who has never been to Lay Lake.
Yep. And I'm excited about that.
That's
I really am.
exciting.
You know, it's hard for a 24-year-old or a 24-year. I wish I was year old.
No, you're not 24. I know.
Veteran.
Yeah.
To go to a lake that I've never been to, and I'm real excited about going on the Coosa River. And
why are you excited about going to a lake you never fished before?
Well, you've seen it all. When I say I've seen it all. I've just seen a lot of lakes, and sometimes we go back to the same lakes and things like that. And to go to a new venue, it's just really exciting. You have no preconceived notions. Redcrest is a feast or famine event.
It is that, yeah.
So it's just exciting to go and not have any preconceived. Just go and let your outdoor instincts and skills take over. And I'm just looking forward to that. As far as preparation, I'm just, I don't do a lot. My motto has always been I do my best every day out on the water. I try to honor God in the process, and I leave the results up to Him. And that's just been my motto in fishing. It's helped me make a good living at it. And, I won't do any more than just work as hard as I can every day when I get there.
Well, doing fishing church on the championship Sunday would be nice if you were in that top 10, though, right? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll kick the event off with a fishing church. Actually,
you will.
That's right. Oh, right.
And then be able to compete in that. Yeah. And I know that the event itself and over $3 million. Does that blow your mind, Mark? I mean, I know folks out there. I've known Mark, Boy Scouts of America. All your background. Baseball at Arkansas State. I'm throwing it all out at you, Mark. But right now, it's hard to be humble when you won $3 million. Okay, buddy? All right? I mean, you didn't know how many cousins you had. So talk about there's $300,000 waiting out there for you, right?
Yeah, I know. That's one title that I have not. Even when I fish I fished
FLW
and the BP Top 100s back then, which are now the elites. I fished all that, and then I made a home in FLW, and I had some top 3 finishes in the old Forest Wood Cup and all that.
Right.
But now that we've got the BPT, a lot of the best of the world at it, and just to be able to have the opportunity to hold that title, that's one that I've never done.
Yeah.
And just really looking forward to it. And I'll be giving it all I got, I'll tell you that. And it's going to be a fun event for the fans also.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what Ron
That
said.
Birmingham area, I look for there just to be thousands of people there. It's going to be a good time, lots of giveaways, lots of fun things for the kids. So it's just going to be a really good, positive event for the sport of bass fishing.
And, Mark, you can't do this without your wonderful family, which is growing thanks to your daughter.
Yeah.
And some great sponsors. Tell our listeners a little bit about why is that all important for you.
Yeah, family, my motto in Rose Outdoors is faith, family, fishing, and that's our priorities, and the family part's growing. My oldest daughter, Natalie, just had 3 months ago, had our first grandchild, Hattie Rose Kent. So she's beautiful. We're having lots of fun with her. But, even though got all the family growing and got a place here on the ridge and we're really enjoying, I really got a lot of salt left in fishing, and I'm just continuing to work really hard at it. And, with the new advancements in technology and all that, you're always having to learn, and I love that about this sport, Some people think it's a negative part of it, but it's just a evolving part of fishing.
And it will always evolve. And to me, I think it's important that you stay up with all of the advancements, whether it's in electronics, boats, baits, everything. That's important.
Absolutely, it's important. It's showing us a lot about, fish habitat and fish movements that we've never, all these years we've been doing a lot of guessing, and now we're able to actually see, what these fish are doing and their migration routes, how they react to bait and our bait, and just, it's teaching us a lot about fishing actually, and I'm having fun learning it. I think it'll play a big part of the lay. I think there'll be a little bit of everything. There'll be some good, guy going to need to fish shallow some, and he's also going to need to be up on his electronic game. So it's going to be a good test of, the best fishermen for that week.
And you've kept your sponsors, Mark. I've always been that. I know when you climbed out that aluminum boat and won $20,000 on the river that time, I think
that was a lot of money back in those days.
A lot of money back then.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and think about these sponsors. I'm looking at some of the list here that you've been able. I know you didn't have a handful when you started. And
I know.
And to look at these, I know General Tire's been great with you. Lou's, Strike King, and all these. My folks at Frog Talks. I'm a Frog Talks man.
Yep.
I got to be that, but your sponsor.
Gotta love Frog Talks. Yeah, that's just been a testimony of just of a lot of hard work and trying to bring out the good in the sport, trying to do things right, and that's what I've always tried to do, and I continue to do, and I hope to one day retire with all these great sponsors, and I absolutely love being a part of some of the best companies in the industry.
And just like General Tires, they're also a sponsor for the Red Crest Cup. And,
they are.
And the MLF series. And so
they do so much for our sport, not just for the Team GT Fishing, but for, the MLF BPT along with Major League Fishing in general with all the other leagues and just professional sports all over the country. The parent company is Continental, and they sponsor so much. And soccer and other professional sports and football and everything. So they just give back so much. They've been real successful, but they also give it back to professional sports.
Larry, on March the 7th, there's going to be a wild game dinner at Trinity Baptist.
That's right.
And you're going to have the honor to introduce their special speaker of that night.
I am honored, and I think so much of Mark and Christy and all the family. He did send his daughter to the right college. I'm glad she went to Arkansas.
But you get to introduce Mark.
I get to introduce
Rose.
Mark, and I get to think back to our years of friendship and his grandpa Walter, and I was there, and Mark's special to me. I don't mind telling that to people, and he'll be
Well,
at.
you're special to me too, Larry.
Well,
you've been around, you've covered, and you've done things the right way. And we all sat back and fought from your days that the commercial appeal and all that. You've just done so much for the Mid-South sporting realm.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
We really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it, and we will be at Trinity Baptist out in Cordova. You get on Trinity off Germantown Road, and you'll dead into the church. If you miss it, you've run into the church. But that'll be on March the 7th at 6 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to seeing Mark out there. And I'll tell our folks tonight that I will be at Piperton Baptist tonight to share my testimony about going through cancer and how the Lord has blessed me. And I know when I think of Mark, I know he feels blessed. He casually mentioned fishing church, but folks, you get up Sunday mornings early before you go to worship service or whatever, you're going to see these guys out there on the parking lot. And
they're at the Red Crest Cup.
Yeah, and I don't know who's going to do the fishing at that first day. That's qualifying day, right? I mean, you guys.
That's the first day of practice. We'll have fishing church. It'll be live on my Facebook page and Ott Defoe's. We try to film it so everybody can see it. You know, Fishing Church was designed just to have a church service for all the league, everybody, from the staff to the boat officials to the service techs to all the fishermen, their families, kids, everybody.
Yeah.
But we do film it because there's a lot of people that will be. And when you see Fishing Church, you'll see a core group of guys there every time worshiping.
Yeah.
But and that'll be the first day of practice, which is our first day of practice is on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But we filmed it because, yes, so everybody can see, but also so a lot of the other anglers may be putting in at different ramps. So just because you don't see an angler there, he may be following along and worshiping through social. But, yeah, it's just and I'll be speaking at that one.
You will, okay.
Right.
All right. Well, catch it out.
Super.
It's on Mark's web page, on the Facebook page.
Outdoors.
Yeah, Rose Outdoors. Mark Rose.
All the best, my friend.
Yeah, buddy. Love you, Mark. Okay, buddy. All right.
Love you guys. Thank you for all you do.
All right. Thanks, Mark. All right, let's get out of this thing.
And right before we get out, Larry,
what are we going to do?
Charity, if somebody wants more information about the upcoming Red Crest Cup, where do they go?
Yes, MajorLeagueFishing.com is your place to find all the information. And just want to remind everybody that we will be live streaming the event itself.
Yes.
So you can find coverage and pictures and other videos of what's happening at the expo and all that stuff on our Facebook page or social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and watch us live on Thursday through Sunday on MajorLeagueFishing.com or the MLS app.
And we'll do the national anthem next time, Charity. Okay, get ready.
Okay.
Get ready for it, Charity. Thank you.
Ready.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you,
Ron. Thank you, Charity. Thank you. Shelby McCall, thank you. And as I close out every show, I say it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else, Ron?
God bless the USA.